point that I want to say is you can have all these wonderful documents, you can have all this rhetoric, all these speeches, but if you don't have the ability to implement what you say, and I was very interested to see that my successor, several decades later, the Chief Director for Human Rights, complaining of the lack of leadership in the department when he was speaking to the American Embassy. And I noted Lindiwe was writing some notes down there. I wonder how long his career is going to last for telling the Americans that. But nevertheless, I think the biggest problem that DIRCO has is actually carrying out what it sets out to do. And I had I wouldn't call it the good fortune or misfortune, but I had the occasion earlier this week to be at a dinner given by a member of the diplomatic corps in Pretoria, which was given for a visiting group from his country, where he brought a lot of people from the think tanks and the academic world together and to discuss South Africa. And the host told the most awful stories about how he was treated by South African bureaucracy. That when he arrived at the airport, the passport control officer said, "What are you coming for here?" "I'm the ambassador of." "Yeah, but what are you doing here?" "I'm going to work here." "Well, where's your work permit?" You know, how ridiculous. And the message that came out of that is we must start treating the South African diplomats the way they treat us. The other thing is that the DIRCO does not receive ambassadors at a level, so I'm told, I can subject to correction, at higher level than chief director, because ambassadors are regarded as at the level of chief director. In other words, they don't have access to the ministers. In this document, it said that the minister will meet groups of ambassadors from particular countries. Now, an ambassador is the appointed representative of the president of his country, and therefore should have access to the highest level. I've been hearing for years, originally it was the East Europeans, now it's the Asians, and various others who are complaining that they cannot get access to the people they need to meet in government. And if this policy is not changed, I predict that our ambassadors are going to suffer the same fate in those countries, because countries have individual interests. It's no good putting a regional group of ambassadors together and seeing the minister, because country X wants to discuss that point with South Africa, and he doesn't want to do it, or she doesn't want to do it in the presence of all the ambassadors of the neighboring countries. These are one-on-one discussions that should take place. So I think, in spite of all the beautiful words, very heartening to read, unless the DIRCO and perhaps other ministries get their act together, get their ability to implement these things, then they will merely remain words. The fact that this document was originally made public a year ago and has still not been approved by the cabinet and is still not technically implemented is a problem. The other part of this, of course, is that it's a bit like a wish list. That it says all these wonderful things, but it gives no indication of how South Africa is going to achieve them. I'll leave it at that.